stuff to come in. Kate, are we on time? Or
We are, I believe it, 7:30 precisely.
All right, so we've got a forum. All right, so I'll call the meeting to order. Do we have any conflict of interest to disclose? No. All right. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
We won't be able to set the tax rate because we're waiting on a grievance.
Okay, waiting on agreements. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So what number is that?
11 May.
11. All right, thank you. All right, anything else? All right, we'll open this up, meeting now open to public comments. We'll get a member of the public inside first, and then we'll go to folks online. So Kate, you'll let us know online after we go to Doug.
No, you're talking about mitigation or the transfer station.
Just any public comments.
Whatever you want on record.
And then when we get to those other items, the board members will discuss, and we go to you if we have any questions or anything like that too. But you can present your info now, whatever issues you have.
Okay, I'm gonna get this clear. You're talking about the mitigation that's gonna take place or the previous mitigation?
Oh, so the local hazard
The new
mitigation
plan, yeah,
plan.
right.
We have to update it because it's due to expire
It's
November.
expired,
Well,
Do we get it?
unless you got an extension, it's expired.
well, they told me that it was until November, so that it hadn't,
Now, who is they?
Two Rivers, that we were okay. But we're,
Either way,
either way, we're working on it, so.
Okay.
Doug, are you all right if I turn the camera towards you so that the people on Zoom can hear you?
Ruin the camera. The thing, now, what have I got? 2 or 3 minutes?
That's already,
Share right
should start already.
Tracy, thank you for that email last night. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
You're welcome.
I guess I'd like to start with the mitigation because that seems to be the hot topic right now. And also, I did not realize that Chelsea had received an extension. It was for 5 years. And the thing that I've read this through several times. I read it through before it was adopted. And it really is kind of a joke. And I know a lot of people probably put a lot of time into it, but I'd like to start off with an example. If you have a culvert and it's a 24-inch culvert, and it's 12 inches of it's plugged, what do you do about it? That's the way I looked at this 2000. I'll ask your comments when I'm done, but what do you, I'd just like to know what you think about or what you would do. Because when this 2015 mitigation plan was put together, it really addressed nothing. I really don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it totally wrong, but it did not address our issues that are the problem. And I am as guilty as the former selectmen for not getting in here and trying to get some money in to take care of our 3 or 4 bottlenecks that have created our reason for a mitigation plan. The only thing I can see that the 2015 mitigation plan did was remove 3 livable homes at the cost of taxpayers. I still cannot get that through my head why that was done. That money and also the loss of several $1 million on the reevaluation of the properties in town that we're losing every year. And the town also lost $3,200 annually on sewer and water from the 3 residents that were taken down. And I also did a little checking on, this does not include road damage, but since 1978, there has been 10 losses paid out. This was up until 2015, a total of $116,000. Now, if we take and left the value of our town properties up through the middle of town at what they were, and the town paid for any insurance that was needed on these properties, we'd have been way ahead of the game. I really don't know. I'm going to say this as polite as I can. If we're going to have a town mitigation plan, it should be drawn up by the townspeople. It should not be rubber stamped. I have a bad feeling a lot of this was rubber stamped. It came out of Two Rivers or somewhere else. I think our plan should reflect our town, and it should not have input from FEMA or Two Rivers. When our plan is done, you could invite them in to look it over and to see if there's anything that we missed.
We're in the process of
might-
doing the first public meeting that everybody can participate in, aren't we?
Right, we have to, all of you got an email.
Yeah.
And you all need to respond by, I think it's next Tuesday. And then it will be posted as a public meeting for public.
We'd like
To
you to
attend and
participate, though. That would be good.
Yeah, the 28th, Wednesday, I'm sorry, not Tuesday, Wednesday.
My lifestyle has changed drastically in the last year and a half, so I have quite a lot of free time now. There's one sentence in this present mitigation plan that really bothers me. And for some reason, I can't put my hand on it right now. Page 43, I think it was. 43. How come I went from 45 to 40? Anyways, if you read it through, it sounds like we're having people drowning all the time on Main Street in Chelsea. I've lived here 74 years and I have yet to see a house go down or a building go down the first branch. But we have allowed, as residents of Chelsea, to create the problems that we presently face here in town. And unless we're ready to face those and spend a little money, we're going to continue to have those problems. I really, oh, damn it, I can't.
So is it on page 43, is it?
Yeah, you got it right there, Tracy.
Yes.
Read the first paragraph.
So this is for people who don't have this in front of them. It's the certificate of adoption, November 3, 2015, Town of Chelsea, Vermont Select Board. Resolution adopting the Chelsea, Vermont 2015 Local Hazard Mitigation Plan. Whereas the town of Chelsea has historically experienced severe damage from natural hazards, and it continues to be vulnerable to the effects of the hazards profiled in the Chelsea, Vermont 2015 Local Hazard Mitigation Plan. And I think, Doug, this is what you're referencing, which result in loss of property and life, economic
Okay,
hardship.
stop just a minute. I'll go back and read that one more time. I want to make sure everybody hears that clearly.
Well, Doug, let's not go too much detail, but okay, Tracy, we'll let Tracy read it, but Tracy's going to cover the whole plan in the when she gets to her report section.
Okay.
The agenda.
Well, I got another minute and I'm done. Okay, could you just read that one
So
more
it's
time?
which result in loss of property and life, economic hardship, and threats to public health and safety.
That sentence really bothers me a lot. That gives an image of our town that we are, we do have high water every now and then. There's quite a lot of difference between flooding and high water. Flooding is if you go to on the Mississippi at St. Louis and see where the water sets back 14 or 15 miles and sits there for a couple months. That's flooding. What we have here is high water for 4 or 5 or 6 hours. If we could figure out some way of spreading out some water acres, we could probably take care of that and not have to worry about it. Now I'll go back to my culvert. What happens if we have a culvert that's the right size, but we let it get filled up? and then it washes out. Whose fault is it? And that's my question. Because that's what we have allowed to happen with this little bridge over here. The
So
river,
you're saying if the culvert gets
You
filled with
should have a
sediment,
flushing, right?
so
usually.
when it gets filled with sediment,
who's responsible for it? Or do we write a hazardous mitigation plan that's gonna take care of that half-filled culvert?
You know, part of the reason to have this plan is you get a higher reimbursement from FEMA.
No, you have to have this plan to get reimbursement.
No, it's a percentage. It's 75%. There's another 12,
90 and 10.
for FEMA, I administered $6 million in Thetford.
No, we
You
have,
get 75%, and then if you meet their other benchmarks, and this plan is one of them, you get additional.
that's what we
money.
did. Yeah.
So
I've
that's
been
part
to-
of the reason to have a plan. What it says is your point, you know, can say whatever we want to say, but
so I think to the, Doug, is that what you have for public?
I'm
comment?
done.
So I think we definitely need folks' input, like your input, when we do this process. Because I don't think anyone on this board is trying to tell people this is what it's going to be like. We're trying to push people. If anything, we're trying to push them to participate. So we're definitely going to do that. Kate, is there anyone online who wants
Yeah.
to?
Oops.
I don't know what happened to that.
1 second. So Sarah, can you hear me? You see,
Maybe turn my volume up on the computer.
it should be up all the way. I'm just trying to see if I can invite her to unmute perhaps.
Talking about the V-Trans line or the
No,
FEMA?
FEMA money.
Because we have a plan.
Sarah or Marianne, can either of you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Thank you, Marianne.
Wanted, if I had a public comment, it's can people state their name when they start talking?
Yes.
Thank you.
Everybody around.
So you had Doug Lyford and you have Mary Ellen and Tracy who are talking.
Did you hear that, Marianne? And then Sarah, can you hear us? Okay, well,
All right,
I've
no
asked
other
her to
public comments?
unmute.
Okay.
So, just one, thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I think Sarah's unmuted.
Yeah, I didn't come to necessarily make any comments on this particular issue, but I did want to come and listen since I was in town, and I'm sorry I didn't get there in person, but maybe next time. So thank you for offering me the chance.
Thank you for attending.
I'm glad that it just happens that I heard Doug, my neighbor, so that's a good thing. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So we have one other specific issue, Doug. This is a request from you under the public comment section about needing gravel, riverbed gravel removed at the Riverside Cemetery.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to speak to that request?
If you've been up there and looked at it, my reference mark is a big pine tree. That used to accommodate the water in that area. And that's moved over more than halfway between the big pine tree and the cement wall up there. Pat Ross has agreed to come over and look at it. And I thought this was actually going to be done 2 years ago because the stream team came up and looked at it and they were going to put money together to take care of it. And Pat Ross said he'd come and look at it. And I took that information to the select board and nothing became of it. The issue now is if we should have high water for a period of time, there's really that little conifer dam that's been built there is going to hold back a lot of water. And it could infringe on the, I call it the Civil War cemetery, because it could kind of new channel down through there. Dorrit Brock's old house takes it hard now because the water has no place to go. Tim Ward's place is high enough elevation so it doesn't bother him. So that's my concern. And I did talk to Pat Ross and he said, he'd come down, meet with the selectmen or whoever anytime.
So is that tree removal or gravel?
Gravel.
Gravel, okay.
It's my culvert. That's my 24-inch culvert that's 12 inches full. Instead of having a 24-foot waterway there in the river, you've got about a 12-foot.
So will we not have a cemetery commissioner?
Well,
call
so
It
over?
really
we're
has
taking the
nothing to-
material out of the river you're talking about,
Yes,
where it's deposited. It's basically the stream bed's filling in, right?
a stream bed removal.
Right, which means a permit, right?
So you're asking us to go ahead and call to inquire about that?
Yep. If
Alright.
you want to call Pat, did I email his number to you?
Yeah, we've got the,
I think I emailed it to you. And if you,
if I don't have it, I'll ask you again.
if you do it early in the morning, he's still in Barry. His office is actually in St. John's Barry.
Okay. All right.
That I wish could, I really, if you're gonna have a hazardous plan, you need to start somewhere, and I wish you'd start with that being the top priority. I think it's even more of a priority than the box culvert over here.
So not, so the channel, so the river not, stream not washing away the cemetery.
If it cuts a
Should be
new channel.
specific. Okay, cut a new channel through the cemetery. Okay.
See that, we're very lucky, LeVar, we have very little headwater. And people don't understand that. It's when we get a supercell right over Chelsea that we suffer.
Okay. All right, thank you,
Thank you.
sir. All right, so I think we're all set with the public comments there. Do we have a motion to approve minutes for the July 6th regular meeting?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve July 6th minutes.
All right, so Kate has moved to approve July 6 minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Mary Ellen seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
I
All right, passes. All right, is there a motion to approve the special meeting minutes from 13 July?
Will we approve?
All right, Mark has moved to approve the minutes for 13 July special meeting. Is there a second?
second.
All right, Kate, second. Is there any discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye.
All right, also passes. We have a request for the Roberts Gould Field usage. I know the scheduling is, does anyone want to move to approve this?
Well, they're playing a game right now.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we allow the Chelsea Babe Ruth team to use the Robert Gould's field. I have their schedule in my email.
All right, so Mary Ellen has moved to approve the Chelsea Babe Ruth use of the Roberts Gould Field. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Mark is seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor?
I
Aye.
All right, that passes as well. All right, do we have, it's not
I
this.
don't think we have any.
Do we have any nominations for appointments? Anyone online do it? All right. No one there. All right, so we have a spot for Karen to provide an update if needed.
She's away or
All right,
I
so,
remember she's coming back Thursday.
so we'll skip past Karen. We have a spot for the administrative assistant in Gail. Well, Gail is filling that spot for us partially right now. So Gail, if you want to speak to that part, and then
Okay.
we'll get the treasurer next.
yeah.
Thank you.
We have this municipal park and ride grant. We need to make a decision because we have, if we want it, we have to fill out application by August 5th. So,
that was what we addressed that when Philip was in a meeting, right? With
Well, we
the,
talked
like,
I don't know, I missed the
possible-
last couple because I was,
Am I misremembering that?
No,
What
he
is that?
mentioned it, and the only thing I said was that you can use those grants to improve existing municipal parking lots. So the only one I could really think of in town that could be also be a parking ride is really the school. And do we own any other parking lots that could be a parking ride? Because some towns are taking their like municipal parking lot, putting up the signage and allowing it to be a parking ride. So if you had a parking lot that had to be redone, you could use that grant money, but I couldn't really think of any parking lot in town except for the school.
Well, what if up by the field, like could we,
Sewer.
yeah, could we make that a
Yeah, I
Parking
mean,
ride?
we own that, right? Rec committee, town, it's town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we could do improvements to that and there's plenty of space there and call that a park and have it be a parking ride. I don't know what improvements we want to do. We put down a decent surface, so it's not all mud.
Yeah,
Would that cost us more?
Is it a
Well,
50% grant, Gail, or
no, it's 20.
20%
Oh.
grant? Oh, well,
that's
worth it
not,
then.
yeah, I thought it was.
So we're not interested at this.
Well, I can't think of a project that we have, you know,
20%.
well, if there was something we had to do now anyway there,
Right.
but I'm not sure, Doug, is there anything you think we need to do down there, Rick? You know any areas in town that are parking lot need work, culverts or anything? No.
So nothing prohibits people from parking there anyway. Yeah.
Well, the only thing that was the comment before was that if we had a parking ride, it would open us up for some stuff, but I don't know that it'd be worth.
Us paying that
If
additional.
we were planning on paving it
Yeah.
anyway or something, we were gonna get 20% for paving it, it'd be worth it. but-
Yeah,
All right.
Okay.
It was the energy grant,
We'll
energy
think
business.
about it.
Center.
Yeah, well, they come around every year.
Give
so-
us a better rating if we had a
I'll,
parking ride in town, but.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
But
and
that's not even paving, we could,
the only other thing is that Two Rivers sent us a thank you for our annual due. But other than that, it's just treasurer stuff after that.
All right. Any questions from the administrative assistant perspective?
Gail, if I could help you, I'll come down anytime you need
Okay.
some help. I got a lot of contacts.
Might need you, Doug, might need you to be writing these grants. You can volunteer.
They're pretty simple.
Yeah, so it's like we don't have an admin assistant right now. We have people backfilling as best we can. You know, when we get someone, maybe you could help bring them along with the,
I'd rather bring one of the selectmen along. Because the selectmen should know how to do that. And it doesn't take that much time.
all right, so Gail, what do you have for us treasurer wise?
You put on here the local recovery funding.
Yes, we did not cover that in the last meeting detail last meeting, but
You did agree to accept it though. last
yes, we
meeting.
Yeah.
agreed to accept. it.
Yeah, and I did that. And
Yeah,
as far
good.
as-
Yeah.
yeah.
So this was just a spot for you to just give us any updates if there's anything new.
Oh, no, they haven't sent anything new, but I guess we just need to at some point figure out what we want to use it for. I mean, I know there's stuff at the water department that really needs attention. And, you know, I don't know if we want to help anybody out, public with it. I think that's an option.
Oh, with the bills, the past due.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we should, I don't know what we can cover with that. I don't wanna, you know, because if you do one, you gotta do all, so.
It seemed like VLCT
And
was
I-
gonna roll out more guidance, didn't it? Look that
I
way?
think so, and they didn't, I don't think we're gonna get as much as they thought we were gonna either, so. I mean, I don't have a figure, but
It's like 67.
67,
Oh, that's
this year
it?
And 67 next year.
Oh, that's it, okay.
yeah, so it's really not that.
Originally, they talked. like
400,000.
Yeah.
So we've all put the word out there to get as much public input because the process encourages public input, but I don't know if many people are interested in providing the input, so that'll.
I think we need more information and then we should set it specific, make sure everybody knows this is the meeting, we're gonna go over the options, you know? I don't think we have enough information yet to really present the options.
Yeah,
I think that's a good
Okay.
idea.
And then once we get it, you know, we get more guidance, we'll put it out there in a way that people know this is the meeting where we're gonna go over the options and here's your chance to weigh in. Because I think when you just put it on the agenda like this, people don't know what it even means to tune in.
yeah.
really good point.
I wouldn't,
Yeah.
you know, if I wasn't here.
And then the IRA thing, I called them today to just get a little more information and as far as going to the Beamers, if we did that, anybody that we hired new that work 24+ hours has to do it. It's not a choice. So that's something you have to consider.
Mhm.
We can make a category, but it has to be in a meeting. We have to say, vote on it, that it would only be administration or highway or whatever.
If we're
If-
for people
if-
specific to the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that has to be in the meeting minutes. And Rick was inquiring if, if he did switch over to it, there would be no penalty to transfer his money. But if he wanted to transfer his years, they do have a purchase thing, but it's like, could be up to 17,000, but it would come out of your retirement money if you didn't have it in your bank.
So you'd only have to do that if you want to be vested, is that?
Yeah.
So like, I think it's 5 years. to get
5 years,
vested.
but 5 years. you
Like if he was gonna
vested.
retire next year or something, right?
Yeah. So, but the thing is, everybody, Karen and I wouldn't probably be interested in it because, she's gonna retire soon and I don't know how long I'll be on, treasurer. I could be voted off next year, So,
If not.
yeah. So, I'm fine with what we have and we can stay with that because we've started with that. But anybody else has, any of the guys don't have to switch if they don't want to
Okay.
at this point that are on it. But anybody new, like if
It has to
Hayden
be.
and John want it, they have to.
The
And the town for the lowest plan, the A plan, it was, I think it was 3% for the, how did I put it that way? It was 3% for the employee contribution and 4.5 or 4.25 for the town.
So it goes up for us.
Yeah, because we have to pay the administration fee and the match.
The thing, when, looking at this, I kind of get concerned about it, and because it's, once we go into the system, it takes an act of the legislature to allow us to get out of it. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's just something to consider too. So if we go into the plan, the legislature, only the legislature can allow us to go out of the plan.
And they may not even let us in the plan.
That's a good point, yeah.
They vote on it, I guess.
So I'm thinking, so we've had this on the agenda a few times and we've been, trying to get our questions answered, and Gail's been, doing back and forth, getting our questions answered. And I guess the question is this something that we're interested in pursuing this right now? Is this something that we would be interested in, putting to the town at, a town meeting? Because my thought is that, we know the information, it'll increase the cost, and, there's limitations to, we're required to to make people go in once we get new hires. It's like, I don't know, it's like, what are we comfortable doing at this point, or what?
I think the one reason that we haven't talked about, if we're trying to hire somebody from another town, and they have a couple job options, this is a part of a benefits package that employees do find valuable. So you got to think about that. Most towns around here do VEMRs. Everybody I've ever heard of does VEMRs except for Chelsea. So just saying, if you were to leave,
Town I know that doesn't have it.
right. So if we were trying to hire somebody, and I think McCaden's the one that requested it because he did come from another town and already has it.
Yeah.
So I worked in Thetford. I have it. I have a account just sitting there because I wasn't vested when I got it. But so in terms of hiring municipal employees, I think it's a benefit that should be considered as part of a benefits package for the employees. But
I mean, it's not a whole lot more. I mean, it could go up.
All right, so
I've been after selectmen since I started almost 20 years.
I know you told me that, Rick.
it is kind of like if you're doing, over in Randolph, some of them even have the state retirement program because they originally started on that before they went to VEMRs.
All right, so I don't know, is this something that we try to reconfigure with the personnel policy, the benefits packaging, or what are your thoughts on that? Because if we're going to commit to it, then we've got to make sure we got a funding line, ability to pay. And is that in this budget? I don't think.
I think it takes a while to get into it anyway.
Yeah, there's.
So
Be for
if
next
we,
year.
We could make it effective January 1. Even
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we.
yeah, if
Well,
we,
yeah,
even if
it
we
says,
started it now, process.
Yeah, they give you certain windows.
Right, or I mean,
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
next, I was thinking it's once the next budget starts. But I think it mostly impacts that. I don't know if elected officials are required to be in it.
Yeah, I don't
That's the
know.
one thing. I mean, employees versus elected officials, there's some gray area there sometimes.
And we could just keep it to the highway
Highway.
and water.
So you said that is an option to
Yeah.
just include, so that means
Sure.
when we hire for highway and water in the future, they'll be bound to the new.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there any motion with to do this, or I prefer that we settle it now so we can get it off, stop putting it on the agenda, since we've had it for 3 meetings or multiple meetings, and I think if we want to go, we go, or not, we pick it up in another session, like outside of this board is what I'm thinking. At the next meeting.
No, so the people that are in the existing plan wouldn't have to change. So it wouldn't, nobody would be forced to go to this.
No,
Right.
anybody that has it now,
But
Right.
going forward,
they have.
they would have
New
to.
people, new hires would,
hires.
yeah, more than 24
And we-
hours.
And we can make it just highway. and
Yeah.
water.
I mean, that's my understanding. I'm pretty sure
Or
that's.
full-time employees, I mean, well, 24 hours, right? See, I don't have a good idea of who's
That's-
24 hours or more, pretty much everybody.
No.
Besides the
well,
listers aren't.
Yeah, I mean, Karen and I work
Right,
on 5+.
Right, you do,
Yeah.
and-
Sewer and
Sewer.
highway are all.
right.
Yeah.
So I was
they're
thinking really the listers.
Yeah, because Paul's
Paul's
lowest
30.
and he's 30.
Well, the zoning administrator's not,
Right.
but could the zoning administrator be?
We won't have a 24-hour week zoning administrator. I
No,
wouldn't
he
think.
gets 7-10 hours.
Right,
Okay.
things would have to change drastically to have that much time.
I mean, all right, so then we'll just leave it to discuss at our, so I'll prefer to not put this on the agenda in the future unless we get new information. And then we can pick it up in the next board.
But if we do, we want to make it in that timeline so that we can start it, either after the next town meeting or
Yeah,
January, whichever.
so it says if you want to join, assume that, we have our March town meeting, April 1, then the deadline to submit is 30 September prior. And then the deadline for the board to take action on you is 30 January.
Well, I don't know, having a hard time reading the room.
Well, I support it. I mean, I've been a municipal employee. I've been a part of that program. It's a benefit other towns offer. And I think trying to hire employees, you got to give benefits that are comparable to the surrounding towns. Otherwise, you're going to lose employees. So, I mean, I support, the request of our current employees to switch to the Vermont Municipal Employees Retirement System. I suppose I'd make a motion that we, within the timeline, I don't know what my motion's gonna say, because I don't know what the timeline is, but
And you want to make it specific to highway and water, sewer, or?
well, if Karen and Dale aren't interested, I mean,
No, Karen's told me she isn't, and I'm fine with that.
and as long as we can expand that in the
I
future,
think we can.
as long as we
because
can
it
expand it, if we end up with a different town clerk when Karen retires, or-
wouldn't be prohibitive. I
right?
think we could. If you want to make it effective the next year,
The deadline to submit minutes or agreement, that's where we'd have to make them. So I think, so to join the program by July 1, 2022,
22.
we have to make this decision by December 3rd. We voted now, basically, or,
But that's assuming that these dates are like
right,
yearly dates. Those dates don't change. We can make that
So
assumption.
those from last year.
Yeah, it's whatever Gail sent us recently. Yeah, there's no year on it, so I guess it is. I guess that would be right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd make a motion that we, in this meeting, we come to the agreement to join this plan, being that it's before September 30th, so we submit it to the VEMR's board so they can take action by January 30th for it to be effective April 1st, which is after our next budget season starts, which gives us time to adequately budget for the change.
You also have to spell out your restrictions.
Um,
or your
And to start the
specific-
plan for highway, water and sewer employees only, with the opportunity to expand in the future if appropriate.
I'd second that.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Can you make sure we're recording, please? I can't see it.
Oh,
So that we
yeah,
can
we
make
are,
sure we
and it's still,
capture.
yes, it is. I'm monitoring the video from
Okay.
here, but yes, we are still recording.
All right, thank you. So we've got that recorded.
Yeah.
So motion's been made by Mary Ellen, seconded by Kate to join the VEMR's plan to be effective next year for highway and water and sewer employees. Is there any further discussion?
Public or just the selectmen?
Well, we're in the debate, but I'll let the members talk first, and then if there's a public question, I'll go to, I have to, but if there's no members objecting to it. All right. Is anyone objecting to it? Okay, Doug. It's got to be
Have the
quick.
employees been asked about this?
It has been discussed among the employees.
There, one of them's the one that asked about it.
I'm sorry.
McCade's the one that asked about it.
Okay.
There's been a couple of requests for the highway, all three, I think.
And then withdrawal,
Pardon?
withdrawal.
Well, we said it can't, there's no,
I mean, let's say McCaden quits September 1st, 2023.
that he's in the plan.
Yeah, but when you quit, I quit in Thetford and mine's just sitting there, you know. The town
Okay.
sends you a letter saying you're no longer.
How do I want to say it? Does it set there until they turn 65? Or is it frozen? Do you have to add a certain amount each year to make it credible? You have to add. money
My
to
guess
yours.
is he understands.
I
it
wasn't
because he's the
vested.
one that proposed
Oh,
it.
you weren't vested? Okay.
No, I wasn't vested, so
Oh.
I'm gonna move it into my new 401k. I just haven't yet. It's just sitting there until I do, but nobody's contributing. I'm not contributing. They're not contributing. I'm gonna move it over. I just haven't yet.
My concern was the vested. If there are
Okay.
people
It's
that are
5
vested.
years.
All right.
But if
so-
not, you get your money back. I mean,
All right, so let's vote. All in favor?
I,
All right, that motion passes. All
I,
right,
I have a question. Can you tell me the exact name of the plan? I can't hear it.
Vermont Municipal Employees Retirement System.
Thank you.
they call it VEMR's because it's all caps, VMERS.
All right. Anything else, Gail?
Um, oh, were we gonna do anything with that municipal grant for the Central Vermont?
That's
Maybe.
coming up.
Okay, that's in that.
That's the grant that Doug sent, right?
Oh, okay, all right. I'm done.
Thanks, Gail.
Ta-da.
Okay, so we'll go to Tracy. Tracy Simon, you're up.
Okay, so we're in the process of picking a first meeting date to all sit down and get started on this. Everybody should have gotten an email from me. Did you get it, Rick? And, you know, I think for pretty much everybody in this room, maybe Rick, you probably have more experience with this than the rest of us do because you were around for the last one. The hazard, all the culverts had to be GPSed. Is it ringing any bells? Yeah. Anyway, so I think we're all kind of, Mary Ellen's got some experience with this. You know, we're all really kind of starting at the beginning. And I think we need to look at this not as an adversarial kind of a situation that we need to come together and get the plan done. And I don't know enough about what is required by federal law and regulation to have a valid opinion on some of the language that's in here. I did, Doug, when I read that on page 43, I was like, I don't think anybody's died as a result of a
Boilerplate.
so it was boilerplate. And it may be that we can modify some of that.
A lot of it.
A lot of it. I know that the last time this plan was done, and this is all just hearsay information, so you can take it with a grain of salt, is that it was done because we needed this plan to go forward with FEMA money, and it was done with a very small group, and it took quite a amount of work to get through it. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be as onerous as the last time, that we'll still have enough in-kind time to meet that happy little, I think it's 200 hours. So
So the more people that we can get to the meetings, the
meetings.
better.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Kate, you're going to be my PIO. Get it out
Get
there
the
on
word
the,
out,
get it out there on the internet.
get
Um,
everybody there.
Everybody over there.
You know, I
Can we
think you're,
have our town picnic be the?
yeah.
Well, we could do, something like a potluck or something to get people there, you know.
Maybe your kids could do posters.
Oh, good. They
Yeah.
did for the Historical Society a couple years ago.
Anyway, so I mean, pretty much that's what I have to say is that if you haven't already gone to the link that Jake Pellant sent you, please go to that, pick the times. It's pretty cinchy. And then we'll go, we'll have that first meeting at some point. And if you can't make there's 3 meetings. Jake said there were 3 meetings. If you can't make all of them, that's not a deal breaker for me. It's really having enough eyes on this and thought process about what we need to look at. Clearly, there's some things on here that are going to come off because they're done. The 2 bridges at either end of the village are done. Black Hawk Road wasn't on here as an issue, but the Corinth Road is that done? That must be done by now. So it's referenced in here. So I think we need to look at this also as it wasn't a total waste of paper. Certain things were on the list and we've accomplished them.
Right, and it helps you get funding for the
And
project.
it helps you, yeah, definitely. So that's what I've got to say unless anybody's got questions.
All right. Any questions?
So Two Rivers gonna lead us through these meetings?
Yes,
That's on this one.
yes. And that's a grant from the state. And we had to contribute 200 hours of in-kind because looking at this plan, it's got references to sections of federal law and rules, and for us to do it, I wouldn't want to take the responsibility of trying to do it by ourselves and then make a misstep and then have the federal government say, oh, too bad, Chelsea, so sad for you, you didn't dot the I. So that's where I'm at with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we'll move on to compactor update.
So we voted at the last meeting to move forward with Vermont compactor service. I brought the estimate again, just because it's on the agenda again, 19,520. I did tell Bernie, that we were planning on moving forward and we needed to put down a $9,500 deposit. He was going to get back to me with a time frame on when they could get it done. And there's also the $4,800 in rails, which Doug just mentioned to me that Springfield Fence maybe put a proposal in at some point and it's less expensive. I did look up, Doug sent Lavara a link to a grant and I actually called and They've already gone through their first rounds of grants. The next one's not supposed to be effective till January. We're not supposed to spend the money till January, but he was gonna talk to his executive director when she's back from vacation next week. And hopefully they can be flexible. So if we spend the money now, we just can't be reimbursed until January. But technically, you're not supposed to spend the money until you're awarded it. And I had asked a couple of times if we have passive insurance, and we do. So they have a grant for safety. And the deadline's in October, and we're eligible for up to $3,000 towards safety items, which I think these rails will qualify. I did ask them for our last loss report. I don't know, Gail, if that's something you can find. They go
Yeah.
through every year and do an inspection, and all those items that are in there, and when you fix them, you can apply for their grant. We've done that in the past. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I know that
Yeah.
we did railings at the recycling center in Thetford on that grant. We did a
Yeah.
dock at Treasure Island with skid. You can do all kinds of, Rick probably has some other things around town that he's seen that, the sewer plant railings or, but,
Yeah, we've got that green.
yeah. You can get backup cameras. You have them on all your trucks. That's one of the items you can get through that. But I was thinking that we might be able to get half of our railing under that.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was noted. It should be noted, I would think, in that inspection, but I don't know if it was or not. But I did email them and ask them for a copy of last year's. He said he's gonna be back in the office tomorrow. When I get it, I'll forward it to everybody.
Okay.
Because we get insurance for them, they go through the town facilities each year and they pick up on safety items. And then they give you grants to fix those safety items, basically.
I wasn't at the last meeting, so where is that money coming from? Just curious.
I think we should open up a new line item under the transfer station and put it all on its own new line, because it's a new item. It's not in the budget.
Right.
Yeah, and the dollar amounts, we had discussed, we were gonna try to talk with Gail to get a meeting about looking at the fund balances.
Okay.
And we were gonna consider using some of that FEMA reimbursement.
But I think, because you put your expenses on a line and then you put revenue on that line. So I think we should add it to the budget under transfer station, so everybody knows where we spent the money. It's a special project that was not anticipated.
Capital
And then where we
project,
move in the revenue from
yeah.
to offset that line item. But that's what I've experienced. If you got something that's unexpected, an emergency, just set it aside so everybody sees it. It's not hiding anywhere. This money was not expected, but was spent here.
And this is where it came from.
Right.
All right, I put that 9,500 on the orders. Did it need to be on this order?
I think so.
Okay,
so we
I
can
just want to
approve
make
that.
sure.
I think
before-
so.
in case
That's
we
a
didn't know.
deposit,
Was
correct?
Bernie,
Is
Bernie,
it-
Right?
Well, I
Maybe
don't
it's
know. He
Barney.
called
No,
himself
maybe-
Bernie on the phone, but his email said Barney. That's why I keep going back and
Yeah,
forth.
maybe it is Barney.
did he give you a vague estimate of time, or we?
When I talked to him and I got the estimate, he said within 6 weeks. I'm trying to think what he said exactly, because he said it would take him a couple weeks to get it ready. It kind of went on and on. That's why. Oh, I can't. I'm not sure.
I just thought you had said in the email.
Did you
6 to
read
8
it?
weeks, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he originally told
When he
me.
could get started.
I just want to say there wasn't FEMA reimbursement. It was money the town paid, and then we got money back from a grant. So it wasn't any reimbursement money. It was the
Straight up grant money.
yeah, well, from the houses that we paid and based on the stuff that was supposed to occur in the past. So
Yeah, I can't, my search on here is just not like my computer. I can't find it. But he was gonna get back to me. He didn't give me a definitive date yet anyway. He said he'd get back to
I
me.
guess I was just trying to, it's work that would be scheduled for the fall-ish.
Yes, it was as soon as he could get it done, because it was the impression of Snook and Jeff and everybody that climbed under that compactor that it's leaking.
It's necessary.
Yeah, it's leaking
hydraulic fluid.
and we'd be lucky if it makes it through the summer.
Great.
So it might be repaired again, but then we'll get
Hopefully
it.
not.
Yeah, I hope not. Yep. All right, so anything else on that? All right, so let's
So
move.
I'll go ahead and continue talking to the grant people, and I'll put the application in anyway. I can do that. And if they decide they're gonna be flexible and give us the money back, I think it's up to $5,000, so.
So should we move to have you do that? I think we should, since it's specific action.
You talk to
Apply for the
Mr.
grant.
Sleeper.
His first name's like Theron, yes.
Oh, actually, we don't need you to do it.
I don't think we need a motion
Yeah, we don't need
to
to
apply
do
for
that.
a grant, but.
No.
Yeah, I talked to Theron and he's new, so he went to research it and he called me back and he said that technically, you know, that it's not effective till January 1, so we shouldn't spend the money till then, but he thought in this case they could be flexible, but he had to check in with the executive director
Yeah,
or,
it was Barb.
yeah, and she's on vacation.
Yeah, I talked to Barb, then I talked to Theron. And then there is a Vermont Solid Waste Grants too. That's Mia is her name, and her telephone number, if you want to talk with her,
Uh-huh.
is 522-5926.
Now, who's that through the Vermont Solid Waste District or
Vermont
something?
Solid Waste Grants.
Vermont Solid Waste Grants.
I was going to try to get the funding for this fence.
If you want to help, I'm glad to let you help.
This, you haven't ordered this, have you? This offense?
We haven't ordered it. No, I mean, this
Have you
deposit's
ordered-
on that.
Have you ordered this?
We haven't actually mailed the deposit yet, have we?
No.
You got the guy, you have that guy's name and I sent you.
I forwarded the email that I don't have it in my paper.
uh,
Oh, maybe, no, this is,
See, when I did the last one up there, I checked around with several different compact companies. And old Joe is what I called him. He was out of Massachusetts. He was the cheapest. And it was a lot of money we saved. These big
Well, this is a
companies,
refurbished unit. So the brand new one is 35,000 and this refurbished one was 20. So it's, the cost savings to get the refurbished unit was pretty significant.
did you check with more than one compact company?
I didn't start this process. I just picked up the ball that Jeff kind of let roll away.
Okay, there, boy, there was
Yeah, well,
information.
we-
I gave him that folder.
yeah, because I know Doug, you were on the board and we had, I thought we came to
I
a
did too.
resolution back in October. I think it was back in,
Later than that.
yeah.
Well, we already voted, so
Yeah.
this is really kind of an after the fact. We made a motion and voted at a meeting to
Yeah, so
move
we're
forward with
not,
this
we're not
proposal.
gonna undo that.
If you want to use that grant money, that grant has to be in by October 1st. And the next round of money, round of grants is January 1st. What they told me is submit that and they would probably prorate it from the, as long as it was in there before October 1st.
Right, that's, okay. I'll put it in.
And then as
It's up to
the-
5,000, so.
the selectmen thought about having their own rollback.
I didn't hear you.
The selectmen thought about having their own rollback.
Dumpsters.
Yeah, I got the prices on them. The steel prices are really high right now, because that's the other thing they recommended. He doesn't recommend we buy them now because the prices have like doubled.
No, I'm talking about a rollback truck.
Oh, I thought you meant roll-off container.
Yeah, town has one somewhere. I think Casella's got it. But the town actually have its own rollback truck. We deliver, the town would deliver to either Heartland or Casella.
So we would do the transportation of
That's
the,
correct. Those prices are getting a little out of line.
oh, we're gonna have to pay somebody to do it.
You got plenty. You got what, 4 guys working on the road now?
Yeah, but I don't wanna make road crew.
No, see, it would be, it would probably be,
Your CDL cover that?
probably 2 trips a day. I mean, 2 trips once a week. That's what it would be. So it would spoil an 8-hour day.
Well, I think we'd have to buy the containers first, so I think this is a,
Yeah.
we
we're
have
not
to,
gonna-
we're gonna budget, let's consider it during the budget season, because to do that, we'd have to buy our own containers too.
And then we need to take.
And then we gotta get it, so we all, I mean, I think that's a budget discussion we should have.
Thought the town owned one container.
They do.
Where is it, Doug, do you know? It's not at the, it's not up there.
No, you found them.
I found the ID number on it. And I talked with Casella and just asked him.
You said they had them.
Well, I figure he would, when they switched from Myers to Casella, they just kept the town's containers. And also, see, the district used to provide the town 2 containers. and the district no longer does that.
Yeah. So I remember back in November, you said you had found like, I think it was sometime late in that.
I found the
So,
serial numbers.
so we had bought one, but we don't, yeah, but
I got it through a
It is.
grant.
it pretty much disappeared.
The other thing, I knew somebody was gonna talk about money on this. The town did have about $80,000 revolving loan money that has mysteriously disappeared.
I don't think we,
What was that? I'm sorry.
Revolving loan money.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't involved in that.
and,
yeah, I don't know what that is. I mean, I know you mentioned that was just a pass.
Well, I tried to call them when I was on the board last time, and because of COVID, they weren't taking any calls.
So we'll bring it up when we get in our budget discussion. We'll move on now to tree removal update. Mary Ellen, it's Maple Avenue, right?
Yep, we could have Rick update us since he's the one that helped do it. So they helped Frank. Oh, there was two? Frank came to the last meeting during public comment and requested help with a couple trees, and Rick went over and helped him, and it's all taken care of.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
we don't have any other action on that.
Nope.
All right, so we'll go to Kate for the update July community celebration.
Well, sent y'all an email yesterday that I really dropped the ball on that. I don't know if you got the email.
Well, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I just took on too much this month, and so I did not advertise it and was scheduled for Sunday. I think pretty much nobody knows about it except the people in this room, so makes postponing it a little easier. It's very effective in my non-advertising. But I did want to, I suggested in that email to move it to August, let me look at a Saturday in August, because Carrie has her art series in the afternoons on the green, not North Common, I believe. So, bye, Doug.
Good night, Doug.
So August 21st in the afternoon.
Is that a
It's a Saturday
Anything I can help you with, let me know.
instead of Sunday. So I don't know how to check schedules, but I don't know of anything that's going on that day.
Karen
Gail
will
and
be
Karen.
there.
I'll,
I guess.
I included Karen on that email, so when she gets back, I'll just send her. She gets back on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll send her a ping. I'm really sorry for dropping that.
I think a lot of people are on vacation. I don't
Someone
think
thought
those
of it.
meetings are that idea anyway. This is a week, a lot of people are on vacation in July. It seems like in August, people return, get ready for school. School will be
Yeah,
starting.
it'll be just a couple weeks
Yeah,
before
I don't think
school.
I don't think it's a bad
Okay.
idea to postpone it.
Well, thank you.
So I think it worked out.
And then my question for you guys would be, I know we talked briefly about this, but are we still good with, just as things continue to evolve with the virus, are we still good with having it rain or shine and the rain be indoors? Or
I don't,
I feel strange advertising that and not knowing, knowing how much things could change in a month. I don't know. I feel very safe here in Vermont, but just wanted to test
yeah,
the
so
waters on that with you all.
I don't think the state's had any, they've not started up the weekly briefings or the bi-weekly briefings again. They all stopped. I called the ops center, I think it might have been a couple weeks ago, just to see if there's anything else missing. And Tracy, you said, we talked and there was
I think
nothing.
I got one email from the health department, and
High water.
one email from the health department, and it was more around continuing vaccination
Yeah.
sites.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't received any guidance on any new.
So
Which I
I
sent.
guess, I'm sorry, my email's been a mess. I guess what I'll do is I'll put it rain or shine town hall rain, and just as we did, over a year ago, if we have to change something, we're so dexterous now. Okay.
All right. All right, so we'll move on. I think you wanted to talk about that weather monitoring station, right?
I wanted to, yeah, watching the weather outside is intense right now.
Water.
Yeah,
There's a lot of water out there now. It's that supercell Tracy was hoping was not happening.
I met with Nolan from NOAA, and we just went and did a walk around the treatment plant, and he showed me the corner where they would hope to put the continue to post it through here.
Yourself, yeah.
A little bit less.
The town existed before.
Yep.
So did you, Mark?
The town existed before Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it will exist with Wi-Fi and so forth.
So so just to say that to recap, Nolan met, they're ready to put the solar powered weather stations in. He wanted confirmation that we are okay with the location. So if I took pictures, which I can
I
send
think
around.
we said that we're okay with whatever no one's okay with.
Okay.
No one at the water plant.
Right.
Yeah. Is
Marlin, sorry. Marlin is the name of the man at NOAA, those ON names. I have not spoken with Noah. He was not there. Spoke with Marlin. Sorry, Marlin from NOAA. So I just wanted to talk to you guys, and then I'll get in touch with Nolan. But it's that if you're looking at the plant, you're like at the gates, it's that far left corner. So that's
about
north.
$1 billion.
It'd be northeast corner, I believe.
Back by the horseshoe pit.
Okay.
Yeah,
To that corner.
Okay.
there's nothing there. It appears,
Except for when they're playing horseshoe.
Yeah.
This is within the.
but
fence,
it's
right?
within the fence.
It's in the fence.
Yeah, it would be
So as long as
within
it's not
inside the
Nolan's
fence.
way for any future upgrades to the treatment plant or anything.
Yeah,
So no one
And-
should know that. I would think.
Yeah.
And we should,
We're not talking him for.
right.
As long as Nolan approves it.
Okay.
and that's where we left it. We approved it and we said, if no one has a problem with it, we have a problem. with it.
Okay.
So if no one doesn't have an issue, we don't have an issue.
Okay. All right. Then I will reach out to him. Okay. That's all I've got.
All right.
Water coming in that window.
Is it?
I don't know.
No, it's not.
Feels like it is. That's kind of.
So the,
Why not let us use the library against the water? They might not
Put
let
that
us
in
use
the
library here for flooding.
We don't get flooding.
Put that on the plan. Put that in the plan.
Does it flood? All right.
If we have high water.
Hopefully not.
What do we
So
do?
let's go on to the advertisements on the town website. So we have a request from a gentleman to put an ad on our town website.
Uh,
So the previous board, we decided that we would not put advertisements on the town website. For one, it would, it would leave us try to figure out, which commercial activity is the type we support, what do we not support. That was what we agreed on in the previous board. And I'm thinking, we didn't set a time limit for it, so then this board would need to set a policy as well, and just put that in the minutes. So are we not going to put the advertisements on the site?
Yeah, I'd like to, should we make a motion for
I
that?
think to
Okay.
set up a board policy or, a website policy, we're not gonna.
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we do not post third-party information on our website with the exception of Vermont state government information.
Okay, so Kate has moved to post only Vermont state and town
Local, yeah.
government on our website, activities advertisement. Is there a second? Second. All right, so Mark is seconded. Is there any additional discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor? All right,
Aye.
all right, so that passes. All right, so I'll work with Karen and notify folks about it, so we're not leaving anybody out. Is there a motion to approve orders?
What? How is that?
Is not latched, Rick, at the top. Some of them were. Yeah, this one wasn't
Oh, yeah,
latched.
it's good, we can do it, needs to move.
All right, is there a motion to approve orders?
I make a motion to approve the orders.
All right, Mary Ellen has moved to approve orders. Is there a second? Mark
Second.
is seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that passes. All right, so now let's see, we still have folks here. We're gonna go into executive session and we're going, we'll go into executive session to discuss human resources. And in that motion, hopefully someone will move to allow Gail in it as well. So is there a motion to go into executive session?
Okay.
All right, so Mark has moved to go into executive session. Kate is seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, let's
Thanks,
vote.
Rich.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're in executive session. We're gonna stop all recording. Gail is here with us.
Give me one moment, please.
Yeah, don't get mine too.
It's not signed in anymore. I couldn't figure it out. Put in waiting room. And
So first we get an update from,
then pause recording. All right, we are back on recording. And I think Marianne is here. Do you want to speak to?
no, I think we're all set. That is our last agenda item other than adjourning. Is there any further business?
Well, I don't know what this is. Rick dropped off. It's the access permit. Do you guys have to sign that?
Driveway permits usually, yeah, state statute says select boards do,
So what is that?
what all their form shows. Permit number date of issue to,
All right, you let us know there.
this must be our form.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did he go look at it?
I think so. He said something about this.
The Williamstown Road, somebody wants a driveway, a new driveway. It's
We're
an
gonna get on
access
the agenda
permit.
next meeting. I say we.
Well, Rick signed it.
Yeah.
Permission to do this work described in application. Laura Rada. I wish that we had this when he was sitting here, we could have asked him.
I know. Well, he dropped it when
He just, instead of,
Do we have a deadline? Can we get it on next meeting?
yeah, put it on the next meeting.
All right.
Have it here. It really should be on the agenda anyway, if we're gonna take action on it.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so any other agenda items for the next meeting? Or I'll just send out a request to you guys.
And we're gonna do the ATV, the ATV club was gonna give you, I haven't got them yet, but Doug wants to go bring me maps before the next meeting.
Okay. All right.
So but the deadline for the agenda items, if I don't have the maps yet, we may not, maybe we'll wait, but
Okay.
I'll check in with them again.
Well, some folks in town have asked me about the ATVs. I was just on the hill today and I told people it's gonna be on the agenda
Yeah.
for next meeting.
Okay.
So.
Yeah,
But if we don't have, I want to have the map and the road names or not bother, because that's
Yeah.
what people
Yeah.
want to know. What roads are they requesting that we use? And
Then we put it on, and if they're not prepared, then it gets pushed down later, some other month.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we could.
let's just assume at this point he's gonna be ready and we're gonna
Okay.
go forward with it.
Okay. All right, so is there any objection to us? I mean, is there any other business? If there's not, we'll be adjourned.
Wait a minute, I have a question. What happened after the executive session?
What happened? We're adjourned.
No, Gail presented a driveway permit, wasn't on the agenda, so we did
Oh.
take, I think that's what she's.
Mary Ellen, got it.
Mary Ann, so Gail had a access permit request from Rick, but we did not take action on it because it wasn't on the agenda. We're gonna add it to the next meeting agenda.
Okay, but was that the executive session? So I can say afterwards, no action was taken to the.
Oh, yeah, no action was taken during the executive session.
Okay, and then also, can we confirm the next regularly scheduled select board meeting?
Kate, do you have a calendar?
It's, yeah, one moment, Marianne. It will be, I believe, August 3rd.
Any
It's-
objection to me? leaving?
See you, Mark.
No,
By
yeah.
Mark.
We're
You
adjourned.
got a call?
Yeah.
August 3rd.
August 3rd at 7:30.
Okay, thank you, but
Thank
Can
you.
can I have one more question or?
Go ahead.
In the meeting earlier, I believe you said, but I couldn't really hear. On July 13th, this is a special select board meeting. Frank Keene asked about tree removal. And did someone at this meeting say that that was completed and done?
Correct, Mary Ellen
Thank you.
And Rick.
and Rick.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
so we're adjourned at